Welcome everyone to HueFin News. Today is December the 16th, 2018. We are the home of the 2-minute price prediction as well as giving you all the news according to the charts, and that's what we're going to do today. We're going to give you the news according to the charts. We're going to look at this article about TLRY that we've seen, that we ran across, and we definitely want to see if it correlates with the price chart. That is our main function. That is our goal, to make sure that everyone who delves into the stock market, cryptocurrency space, commodities, forex, whatever the case may be, that they are actually giving us accurate information. And we are definitely under the presumption that the price chart is where the truth lies. And if any of the articles or media sources goes against what we're seeing on the price chart, then we will not go along with the article. If it does, then we will side with the article, because the price chart is reflecting the same thing that the article is trying to insinuate. So we do appreciate you all coming here today. If this is your first time though, do not forget to subscribe before you leave, because we are the only organization that is trying to keep the articles that we read accountable to the information that they're trying to display. So now, as you guys can tell by our thumbnail, TLRY is a strong sell. This is what this article is going to go into. Okay, Julian Lin, he has been covering this stock for a while now, TLRY, and he is giving you some points as to why he is expecting TLRY to fall substantially in price. Now, we're looking at the monthly chart here on the right side of the screen, and you can definitely tell that weakness is here. But is TLRY poised to see another 50% drop from where it's currently trading? Because this article was uploaded December the 11th, 2018. So we still have some time to see a 50% drop if we are in fact going to side with Julian's article. Okay, so I'll just point out some things that he has mentioned in this article. We're going to see if it correlates, the negativity, if it correlates over to this price chart, to see if he is in fact accurate in what he is trying to display. Okay, now as a summary of the article, TLRY stocks or shares have a lockup period, and it expires next month. Now, for you who do not understand what lockup period means, it simply means that all of the insiders, the founder of the company, the CEO, or venture capitalist, someone who has a very large stake in the company's stock, they cannot sell their stock until a certain amount of time expires. Okay, so once that time comes, then those individuals are free to hit the market and sell their shares at a profit, because they more often than likely bought those shares or got access to those shares at very low prices. So next month is when the lockup period for TLRY expires, and it is likely that many of the insiders who have a huge stake in TLRY is going to sell out of their shares just to grab some of the profits out of the market. Okay, so that is a lockup period. Also, he dropped his estimates for future earnings due to the surprisingly low bulk sale prices for TLRY, and shares appears to be in deep bubble territory with little room for upside. He also mentioned that shares are a strong sell with 50% downside in the next 12 months. That is huge. So literally the whole month of 2019 is going to be TLRY moving lower and lower in price. As we move closer and closer to the expiration of the IPO lockup period, it's highly likely that you will see some sellers entering the market. The most optimistic expectations make shares appear too expensive. Shares are a strong sell. He makes a very declaratory statement stating that the shares of TLRY definitely is not a buy. Big dreams and promises for TLRY. Okay, Julian goes on to say that he has been very strong about his stance on the Canadian marijuana plays. Okay, especially many of them stating that they're going to have a very huge global market present, especially when marijuana or cannabis is a phenomenon that cannot be grown in Canada. Okay, it definitely has to be maintained and cultivated in a warm climate. And how and why would a Canadian company be one to sell to another country that is able to grow the plant on its own? And what he goes on to say right here in this sentence, TLRY for its part has heavily hyped up its exposure to Europe. Also, you can see that TLRY does have operations in 29 companies. He does acknowledge that fact, but it is a huge stretch to state that this will lead them to become a global leader, which is what their stock price valuation seems to imply. So during these particular months, okay, the last 3 months in TLRY, he's trying to say that that's why we've been seeing the increase in prices, because individuals have been hyping up this stock to and seeing where that's going to be a huge global pioneer for the cannabis industry. Now, logistically speaking, it does not make sense for TLRY to be able to supply cannabis globally from its headquarters in Canada, which is not exactly the ideal location to cultivate cannabis. We just mentioned that. So again, that's definitely another reason why Julian is giving us a strong sell in the market for TLRY. Okay, so considering the fact that case learning, I did a video for Afria, okay, and there was an individual or a short company that went ahead and shorted Afria. Well, in the midst of that same conference, they did another presentation to where they said they are shorting TLRY. So it seems as if the negativity, the seller, the sentiment of TLRY is getting weaker and weaker, and that the positivity of this particular stock, even though TLRY, Aurora Cannabis, they're all doing acquisitions at this present time, but it continues to show you the weakness in the market and how the overall market players are not interested in any of these cannabis companies moving to the upside. I did a video a long time ago saying that cannabis, the Canadian cannabis companies can drop by as more than 90%, and that is still ongoing. I mean, you really don't see a lot of positivity that is sprucing the price for many of these Canadian companies in the market right now. That is also another indication as to how weak or not interested the market participants are in trying to push TLRY and many of the other cannabis companies in this sector higher. Okay, so considering the fact of what Julian written in this article, we're going to go ahead and look at the price chart to see if it kind of correlates to what is actually happening. Okay, so here we are looking at it on the monthly chart for TLRY. The market continues to show us it is weak. No denying that fact. We just need to try to determine whether or not it has the probability of dropping 50% to the downside. Okay, currently it's still on the table. I mean, TLRY can definitely continue its fall from where it's currently trading according to the monthly chart. And then looking here on the weekly chart, we just concluded this previous week closing towards the low of the bar. So there's still a lot of weakness in this space for TLRY. It is definitely showing us on the price chart a lot of the things that Julian is mentioning. It is correlating over here on the price chart. I don't see the ability of TLRY moving to the upside. As a matter of fact, TLRY even broke into the downside $80. That literally could have been the second support area from this one that we got drawn on this chart, from it actually holding support and trying to move higher in price. We're not getting that. The market in TLRY is still weak. I am not expecting this stock to continue its movement to the upside. It is continuing to show us that it is weak on the monthly chart, the weekly chart, and even as well as on the daily chart. We still are seeing a downward move in this particular stock now on smaller time frames. So I'm still expecting TLRY to continue its move to the downside, and considering the short amount of history we have in the space, the market definitely looks like it's going to hit around that $65 to $60 price. And once it hits that area, we will have to come back and look at it to see if we're going to hold that area as support, or are we going to continue to move substantially lower in price towards $30 or even $35 per share. Okay, so the market is still weak in TLRY. Julian, according to the price chart, we at HueFin News are in agreement with your article. The price chart is not displaying anything different. We're still seeing the market as weak, and we're still expecting this stock to move to the downside as well. So before I go, I would definitely like you all to give us your thoughts, give us your opinion about this article and about case learning shorting TILRAY as well. The whole market is getting shorted, it seems like. Give us your thoughts as to what you expect this particular market to do, as well as TILRAY. Leave us a comment in the comment section of the video. Make sure you all maintain your profitability. I will see you all later.